HighLevel is incredibly powerful, but that does not mean it's infallible. In this video, I want to cover the big 3 limitations that I see inside of HighLevel and give you some tips and tricks that I've used to help me moving forward in the day-to-day. If you're new here, my name's Matt. I've helped over 5,000 people generate over $100 million in the HighLevel ecosystem. We know HighLevel through and through, and we've been there almost from day one. And wow, we love it. And I use it literally every single day. There are a few things that you need to know as you're getting into it. The first thing that I think is a big limitation or downfall of HighLevel is it is overwhelming. There's a lot going on, especially if you're new. It's kind of incredible how much they've been able to build, but it can feel a little bit like a hoarder's living room for a second when you walk into it. You're like, why is there so much stuff in this place? The reality is from day one, there's probably only a few things that you were hoping to make better in your life or in your business, and seeing hundreds of possible things you could use can generate a little bit of anxiety there. And so my recommendation is treat it like the old adage of eating an elephant. Take it one bite at a time. Put on blinders and resist the urge to just start menu clicking to discover all that is going on. The reality is it can discourage folks from getting started and making the small steps that it takes to enact progress and see results happen. And so a couple of areas that I would focus on. One is the chat widget or kind of forms. Where are leads coming in? And a CRM with no leads is about as valuable as watching Mr. Beast run with the bags of money. It's entertaining for a second, and then you realize it was just a waste of your time. And so you want to find a way to put data, information, contacts, leads into the system. The best ways that I've found to do that is one, by installing the chat widget on a website. Even just the lead capture version of that is going to like immediately start putting context in there. And two is just replacing some forms that you have. Probably already have a website or a landing page, and hopefully there's already leads that are reaching out to you. Now you just want to swap it out for a HighLevel form. And then when they reach out to you, you'll have the contact in the system. And so start by getting some context in the system. And then the other big piece there that I think is a good baby step is like calendars, appointments, some basic calendar automation, appointment automation, just to set reminders and then get people to actually show up on a call with you. If you do any sort of scheduled activity, appointment-based activity, that's the second thing that I'd want to get in place. And that leads me to the second downfall or limitation that I find inside of HighLevel is due to its robustness and its almost overwhelming nature of all that they've built, it can be slow. My favorite aspect of HighLevel is that it runs and I don't have to run it. This is kind of the power of the system, is that I set things in place that are automated that keep on running without me. However, if you get into a building phase and are just like day to day in and through it, or you've just uploaded tens of thousands of contacts in there, I can see it start to slow down a little bit. It kind of makes sense. There's so much information there. It's kind of like if you're navigating through Meta's ad manager, where even for the biggest Fortune 500 companies, when there's a ton of data, the reality is it takes a while to load because they're loading it in pieces and fragments, and there's all sorts of associations and corresponding data sets that are going on behind the scenes. And so what that means is I find HighLevel is most valuable for the things that I can automate that don't require me to log back into the system to do. And so that's what I'd focus on, is if you're building in those baby steps, build to the things that are going to be running without you. Things like automations, things like landing pages, the assets that you build once and they continue to work for you time and time again. Those are the best things to build and definitely the most valuable, and they offset that limitation or that kind of frustrating experience of a robust system just being slower to load or taking longer to load than you experience on other parts of the internet there. And so I would focus on building things that are automated. And then also secondary to that is leveraging AI as much as possible. So it's great to have leads coming in, conversations going on inside of the CRM. It's even better when you don't have to be the one having them, because all of the automated systems in HighLevel are powerful, robust. They work so predictably well. And it's only frustrating when you're having to go in there and manually respond to every single lead, or, reload up a new list of things, or constantly in a building phase there. So I would start by building things that can be automated, that run without you, that keep running 24/7 and you don't have to be involved. And then maybe layer on that extra piece of AI, especially the AI agent functionality, where it's handling the conversations, it's, qualifying leads, it's even doing the outbound, nurture on that side of it. And so automate as much as possible and you will enjoy the system a lot more. The third limitation that I find inside of HighLevel is that it's always missing something. You get into it, there's so much there, so much works so well, and so it's a small leap to immediately feel like this all-you-can-eat buffet should have every food you've ever experienced in your life. And so you'll almost train yourself to expect everything should be here. The reality is they're always building, and they're building because something is missing. And so that experience, that feeling of like, oh, but if only it did this, or if only it had this thing, it inevitably comes up, and it's a limiting feeling like that's not enough, or it doesn't have all that you can imagine or dream that it should have here. And my remedy for this is to use HighLevel to offset costs and then reinvest those savings into just getting the tools that you need that HighLevel doesn't currently replace. And so in my mind, I think about this, the tools that we used before BHL and then AHL. There's before HighLevel and after HighLevel. If you look and audit your BHL costs, the things that you committed to that you were paying for before you experienced HighLevel, odds are there's something in there that you could cut, you could replace, that would be immediate savings. And so my encouragement is, after you've layered through the easy things like forms and chat widgets and the things that are going to pull leads in the system, after you've automated a few things like appointment reminders and calendars and maybe some nurture going on in that system there, then I'd look and see if you can do any cost reductions. Replace some of the BHL software and take that savings and then feel better about having to buy or purchase or invest in the things that HighLevel doesn't currently do. And I'll say this, the other piece to this is put it on the idea board. HighLevel has an idea board. This is their building chart. And the cool thing is there's kind of two layers to this. There's a secondary market of builders, a robust marketplace and app developers who are building things on top of HighLevel. And they use the ideas board as kind of like a early advantage for them. So even if HighLevel might take a little while to get to it, sometimes they're really quick and then you put an idea up there and it's done in a week. Sometimes it takes a few more months. There's oftentimes another developer who will be like, oh, I want to build that. And yeah, maybe there's a minor cost involved to get it to function inside your system. But in all things in business, I prefer like it working, it being done, because that usually results in more revenue, more profit for the actual business there. So those are the three big limiting factors that I find and experience inside of HighLevel, especially for folks that are getting started for the first time. I'd love to hear in the comments, what else do you consider a limiting factor for HighLevel or a big limitation? And then also if there's other creative ways that you either automate or focus on building things in a certain order, or things that you've been able to offset costs, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I reply to every single one of those. And if you want a deeper dive into that AI piece of it, maybe you're like, I haven't fully understood all that HighLevel is going on from an AI perspective, I did a full course up to date for 2025, and you can check out that video right here.